सो आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे आर्ट ऑफ टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर, आर्ट ऑफ टेम्पल कंस्ट्रक्शन इन इंडिया। तो बेसिकली इंडिया में टेम्पल कंस्ट्रक्शन के क्या क्या आर्ट हुआ करते थे, दैट वी विल डीप डाइव इनटू इट। सो मेजर डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन एंशिएंट सिटी एंड द्रविडियन टेम्पल बिल्डिंग स्टाइल। सो बेसिकली आपको पता है कि इंडिया में द्रविडियन स्टाइल और नागरा स्टाइल, द्रविडियन स्टाइल होता था, तो उसके बारे में डिटेल में हम जानने की कोशिश करेंगे कि क्या होता था वो एग्जैक्टली। तो temple has special place in the ancient architecture style of India. The construction of temple in ancient India was inspired by objective of providing religious comfort and practicality to the people. In ancient time, temples emerged as the center for socio-economic and political system in India. The Gupta period is very important from that point of view of temple architecture throughout the India, which saw the emergence of three major style of temple construction: Nagara, Besar, and Dravidian. So basically, the three important temple construction style are Nagara, Besar, and Dravidian, and it flourished between the Gupta period. Nagara and Dravidian style flourished in two different areas. There is the following fundamental difference between two temple styles. So the main difference between Nagara and Dravidian temple construction style is following. ठीक है. Nagara style developed in North India from the Himalaya to north of the Vindhya mountain. So basically MP के आसपास जो विंध्या माउंटेन पड़ता है वहाँ से एंड जो हिमालय पड़ता है, इसके बीच में जो टेम्पल का construction हुआ, those were falling and being construct using the Nagara style. Okay, so these are the feature and all these things for Nagara style. And while the Dravidian style developed in South India from Krishna river to कन्याकुमारी, कृष्णा से कन्याकुमारी तक ये जो टेम्पल्स होते थे वो द्रविडियन स्टाइल में बनते थे. इन नागरा स्टाइल मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट एलिमेंट इन शिखर नागरा स्टाइल में शिखर होता था. जैसे कि हम देखते हैं अभी अपने मंदिर, जो शिव भगवान का जो टेम्पल होता है उसके ऊपर एक शिखर होती है, नीचे इसका फिगर भी है. विल गेट टू नो मोर फ्रॉम देयर, बट for now just remember that ki Nagara style is more prominent element is Shikhar, where the Dravidian style is most prominent element is Gopuram. So basically आप नागरा स्टाइल में ये डाल सकते हैं कि शिखर इसका इंपॉर्टेंट साइट होता है, वेयर एज द्रविडियन स्टाइल में गोपुराम. ठीक है. In Nagara style, river Ganga and Yamuna have been depicted in humanized form at the entrance of Sanctum Sanctorium, Garbhagriha. ठीक है. Whereas in Dravidian style, there is sculpture of gatekeeper Dwarpal at the entrance. Entrance पे द्वारपाल होता है द्रविडियन स्टाइल में. Whereas in Nagara style, गंगा और यमुना को ह्यूमनाइज फॉर्म में दिखाया गया है एंट्रेंस पे. सन टेम्पल ऑफ कोणार्क, खजुराहो टेम्पल, सोमनाथ टेम्पल, जैन टेम्पल ऑफ दिलवारा, मुक्तेश्वर टेम्पल are Nagara style temple, and Brihadeshwar temple, Meenakshi temple, Kailash temple, Konargnath temple, etc. are example of Dravidian temple. तो अगर एग्जाम्पल की बात करें तो नागरा स्टाइल में कौन कौन से टेम्पल आते थे? टेम्पल ऑफ कोणार्क, सन टेम्पल ऑफ कोणार्क, खजुराहो, सोमनाथ, जैन टेम्पल ऑफ दिलवारा, मुक्तेश्वर. ठीक है. वेयर एज द्रविडियन स्टाइल के कुछ एग्जाम्पल हैं: बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल, मीनाक्षी टेम्पल, कैलाश टेम्पल एंड कोनार्गनाथ टेम्पल. इन नागर ए स्ट्रक्चर कॉल्ड अमलक एंड कलाश वॉज बिल्ड ऑन top part of the peak, while in Dravidian style stupika are built on the top of the peak. Nagara temple was generally built on high platform, whereas this was not the case in the case of Dravidian style. So नागरा स्टाइल के जो टेम्पल्स होते थे वो बेसिकली थोड़े ऊंचे स्थान पे बनाए जाते थे. ठीक है. जो कि द्रविडियन स्टाइल में ऐसा कुछ प्रचलन नहीं देखने को मिलता है. देयर वर नो नीड फॉर ग्रैंड एंट्रेंस इन नागरा स्टाइल, वेयर एज इन द्रविडियन स्टाइल ग्रैंड एंट्रेंस वॉज द मेन वन, गोपुरम. तो नागरा स्टाइल में ग्रैंड एंट्रेंस नहीं होता है बेसिकली, मतलब जनरली ग्रैंड एंट्रेंस नहीं होता है नागरा स्टाइल में, वेयर एज इन द्रविडियन स्टाइल ग्रैंड एंट्रेंस वॉज द मेन वन, जिसको गोपुराम बोलते हैं. From the point of view of Vastu Shastra, Nagara style pyramid is called Prasad, whereas Dravidian style pyramid is called Vimana. वास्तुशास्त्र के हिसाब से नागरा स्टाइल पिरामिड इज कॉल्ड प्रसाद, द्रविडियन स्टाइल पिरामिड इज कॉल्ड विमाना. अनलाइक द नागरा स्टाइल, द्रविडियन टेम्पल वेर सिचुएटेड विद इन हाई वॉल्स. तो बेसिकली द्रविडियन टेम्पल में क्या होता था कि बाउंड्री वॉल होती थी और वो बहुत ऊंचे ऊंचे हाई वॉल्स होते थे, उसके अंदर एक्चुअल टेम्पल सिचुएटेड होता था. नागरा स्टाइल टेम्पल्स आर ग्रैनुलर quadrangular while Dravidian style temple है octagonal. So basically नागरा स्टाइल is quadrilateral, ठीक है, whereas Dravidian style are octagonal. So basically 8 side fold are there. Both the style of temple construction, art style, Nagara and Dravidian style of architecture are beautiful expression. Nagara style and Dravidian style presents a living example of society and culture of North and South India respectively. So basically नॉर्थ इंडिया में नागरा स्टाइल, साउथ इंडिया में द्रविडियन स्टाइल. अब हम इसको थोड़ा सा फ्लो चार्ट में देख लेते हैं कि क्या क्या डिफरेंस होता था. तो प्लेस वाइज अगर देखें तो नागरा स्टाइल कैन बी फाउंड इन नॉर्दर्न प्लेसेस वेयर एज द्रविडियन स्टाइल कैन बी फाउंड इन द साउदर्न रीजन ऑफ द इंडिया. और टावर की बात करें तो इन नागरा स्टाइल टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर टावर इज कॉल्ड शिखर. टावर जो होता है उसको शिखर बोलते हैं, ठीक है. वेयर एज इन द्रविडियन स्टाइल इट इज़ कॉल्ड विमाना इन द द्रविडियन स्टाइल. More than one शिखर can be found in Nagara style temple architecture, whereas only one Vimana is visible in the Dravidian style temple architecture. Furthermore, the shikhar in the Nagara style curves inward as the Nagara style. The plane here is like step pyramid. Not very important. You can just focus on these 2 points. Sculpture outside the temple. Outside the temple, there is presence of erotic image, Mithunas, in addition to image of the river goddess and Gangas, Yamunas, right? But in Dravidian style, sculptures of gatekeeper Dwarpal can be seen in the Dravidian style of temple architecture. Presence of water tank. Water tank is absent in Nagara style of temple architecture, whereas a large reservoir or temple reservoir is seen in South Indian temple, which is Dravidian style. Gopuram क्या होता है? Gopuram is not prominent in Nagara style of temple architecture, whereas in southern temples are surrounded by huge boundary wall called Gopuram. However, the presence of massive boundary wall can be seen in the Odisha school of Nagara style. Crow element. In this style, the crow element is called Kalash or Amlak. और द्रविडियन स्टाइल में द क्रो एलिमेंट इज कॉल्ड शिखर. कुर्सी. इन दिस स्टाइल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर द pedestal is usually at ground level. Here the pedestal is situated a bit higher level. Purpose of temple construction. In North India, temples are usually built for aesthetic purpose. In South India, temples served larger purpose beside aesthetic purpose like administrative process, exercising control over territory and serving as center for learning. Place of gods. Gods and goddesses are found inside the temple, right? Under the Indian temple, the deities are found outside the temple. एग्जाम्पल के लिए देख सकते हैं कि लक्ष्मण टेम्पल, सन टेम्पल, कोणार्क, लिंगारा टेम्पल एंड भुवनेश्वर टेम्पल. एंड फॉर द्रविडियन, बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल, गंगोईकोरचुप्रापुरम टेम्पल, तंजौर टेम्पल, राइट. अगर इमेज वाइज बात करें तो ये रहा हमारा शिखर. ये शिखर होता था. अम्लक, मंडप, प्लिंच, नॉर्दर्न स्टाइल टेम्पल विच इज नागरा स्टाइल, एंड दिस इज व्हाट डू से द्रविडियन स्टाइल. Here is the Gopuram, is a grand entrance. Now let's discuss about Buddhist and Jain art and architecture a bit. बुद्धिस्ट का आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर क्या होता था? सो द राइज ऑफ बुद्धिज्म एंड जैनिज्म इन द 6th century BC not only gave new dimensions to the religious culture of ancient India but also made invaluable contribution in making richness of art and architecture of India more distinct and unique. Many ancient dynasties such as Maurya, Gupta and Pala rulers, being followers of Buddhism and Jainism, have profound this religion highly in area like Bihar, Bengal, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Karnataka. The main part of Buddhist and Jain art क्या होता था? Temple architecture, cave, monastery, viharas, sculptures, stupas and chaityas. Features and example of Buddhist and Jain art. Evidence of Buddha and Jain architecture is the Ellora Ajanta that highlights the artwork of Buddha Jain Hindu monument showing religious tolerance to contemporary time. Other significant example of cave viharas and monastery architecture includes Barabar and Nagarjuni caves of Jahanabad, Bihar, built during Maurya period. Nalanda Mahaviharas found by Kumar Gupta and all those things. These are the examples. The preeminent Buddhist site that is Bodh Gaya has the most famous Mahabodhi temple, which is narrow like Nagara temple, but rises without curving like Dravida era. While the most famous Jain temple are located at Mount Abu, Dilwara temple constructed by Vishal Shah, the Palitana temple at Katiswar, Gujarat, etc. Apart from oldest Jain pilgrim site in Pawapuri, Bihar, Aihola, Devghar, Khajuraho, Chanderi and Gwalior also have excellent pieces of Jain temples. Stupa hold a significant position among Buddha and Jain architecture style. Kankali Tilla and Ayagupta Mathura are the oldest evidence Jain stupa, while Sanchi Stupa MP, Sarnath Stupa UP, Chandauli Chaukhandi Stupa UP, Kesaria Stupa Bihar are famous Buddhist stupas. Sculpture art is quite significant among both the Jain and Buddhist architecture that were mainly sculptured with the stone and bronze. Nalanda school of Buddhist sculpture depicts Buddhist deities of Mahayana pantheon such as Standing Buddha, Avalokeshwara, Bodhisattva, Manjusri Kumar, etc. Sirpur, Chhattisgarh also has some Odisha and Nalanda sculptures of Buddhist. Among the Jain sculpture, the statue of Gomateshwara at Sarava, Balayam, Karnataka is the world's tallest monolithic freestanding structure. Also, Jain bronze sculptures are found from Chausa, Bihar. Conclusion में लिख सकते हैं that the Buddhist and Jain art provides us knowledge of religious architecture of ancient time as well as of the contemporary socio-culture status of society, which are still the very significant structures delivering the message of peace to the world. They also enhance the historic heritage of Bihar as one of the most vibrant religious places in the India since ancient age. Now, the last, let's discuss about contribution of राजेंद्र प्रसाद इन नेशनल मूवमेंट. सो बेसिकली ये थोड़ा सा ऑफ द टॉपिक जा रहा है क्योंकि ये आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर का पार्ट नहीं है, बट सिंस वी आर कवरिंग GS1 1 by 1 तो उसमें एक एमिनेंट पर्सनालिटी का भी आता है जिसमें राजेंद्र प्रसाद के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा पूछा जाता है, तो इसको भी हम ऐसे ही जैसे प्लान्ड है वैसे लेके चलते हैं. तो कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद इन इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट, इसको हम दो पार्ट में पढ़ेंगे. फर्स्ट इज कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ राजेंद्र प्रसाद इन एक्सपैंडिंग नेशनल मूवमेंट बिफोर चंपारण सत्याग्रह, क्योंकि चंपारण सत्याग्रह के टाइम पे वो गांधी जी के कांटेक्ट में आए थे और उसके बाद उनका जो द वे ऑफ हैंडलिंग नेशनल मूवमेंट वाज ड्रास्टिकली चेंज. ही वाज हेविली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय गांधीयन प्रिंसिपल, राइट. एंड उसके पहले जो था उनका क्या था और मिलने के बाद गांधी जी से चंपारण सत्याग्रह में उनका इंडियन मूवमेंट के प्रति कैसा attitude tha and how he was handling it, we'll discuss in two phases. So let's start it. So Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of independent India, was prominent pillar of modern India. He had made an important contribution in expanding the role of Bihar in national movement and ensuring the unprecedented contribution of Bihar in national movement, which we can see in two phases. The first phase being before he met Gandhiji and before Champaran Satyagraha. In that phase, Rajendra Prasad took active part in Swadeshi movement in 1905 as a student leader, right? And this was his first contribution in the national movement, which spread nationalism throughout India, including Bihar. He had an important role in formation of Bihar Student Conference in 1906. सो 1905 में वो स्वदेशी मूवमेंट में पार्ट लेते हैं. 1906 में ही प्लेड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ बिहार स्टूडेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस, राइट, हुज ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज टू प्रोपगेट नेशनलिज्म amongst student and youth. He participated for the first time in the annual session of Indian National Congress held in Calcutta in 1906 AD. He took membership of Indian National Congress in 1911 AD, which increased the contribution of freedom fighters of Bihar in the freedom movement at the national level, right? So these are the two three contribution. The first contribution you can say is in 1905 he took a active part in Swadeshi movement. Next he played a very important role in the formation of Bihar Student Conference in 1906, and in 1906 itself he took part for the very first time in Indian National Congress session, right, which was held in Calcutta, and he took membership of Congress in 1911, and since then he contributed to the freedom fighter of Bihar in the freedom movement at national level also. Now next let's discuss the role of Rajendra Prasad in expanding contribution to Bihar in national movement after Champaran Satyagraha. So Rajendra Prasad met Gandhiji during Champaran Satyagraha and was greatly influenced by his thoughts. Later he became main architect of Gandhian movement in Bihar. So basically he became the main architect of Gandhian movement in Bihar. He left his lucrative profession like advocacy in 1920. He by profession he used to be an advocate, and which he left in 1920 and directly participated in non-cooperation movement and made this movement effective in Bihar throughout conference speeches and travels. He played a central role in establishment of Bihar Vidyapeeth and Sadakat Ashram. So basically, in establishment of Bihar Vidyapeeth and Sadakat Ashram, he played a very central role, which later became the main center of Salt Satyagraha and Quit India movement. To make the Salt Satyagraha successful in Bihar, the outline of protest and boycott was determined by him. He was arrested under Operation Zero Hour during Quit India movement, right, which is a testimony to his prominent role in national movement. He served as a president of Indian National Congress in 1935, 1934, 1934, 1935 and 1947 for the third time after the resignation of J.B. Kripalani. J.B. Kripalani, when J.B. Kripalani resigned, he again became the president of Indian National Congress in 1947, and he has already been president in 1934 and 1935. Became the Minister of Food and Agriculture in the interim cabinet formed in 1946. So the interim cabinet that was formed in 1946, during that he became the Minister of Food and Agriculture, and had the honor of becoming the first president of the country after independence. Definitely, we all know the first, a president of independent India is Rajendra Babu. Dr. Rajendra Prasad has made active and important contribution in every phase of national movement in expanding and ensuring the contribution of Bihar in the national movement. In view of his contribution to national movement and independent India, after independence, has been awarded the title of Desh Ratna, right? For his contribution in national movement and in independent India, after independence, he was awarded a title of Desh Ratna, right? Very important. देश रत्न का टाइटल दिया गया था इनको. Conclusion में we can write, in the Gandhian phase of national freedom struggle, many such leaders, including Rajendra Prasad, Ram Manohar Lohia, Dr. Sri Krishna Singh, Anugrah Narayan Singh, Jayaprakash Narayan, Mazharul Haq emerged, who contributed not only to the struggle for freedom but also in reconstruction of independent India and in Bihar. In this sequence, Dr. Rajendra Prasad getting the honor of becoming the first President Constituent Assembly and the first President of India shows the influential role of Bihar in those times. So basically, Rajendra Prasad become the President of Constituent Assembly and also the first President of India, which shows the glory and influence of Bihar that it has in those time, right? So that's it for now. We'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.